Me and Jeff Johnson had what happened on stage recently. Brilliant.
Did y'all see the white woman that got in trouble for saying the N word? I know you said which one. Okay, fair enough. Okay. I say the because this was the for me. It's like other people were saying it, people were saying it all the time, but this one was like, this one felt especially crazy. So I followed the story because it is captivating. Okay, so basically, okay, where do I even start? There's a thing called trad wife. Now, trad wife is short for traditional wife, right? Trad wife is like this content thing that they do on TikTok. It's split over to Instagram a little bit, and it's basically women doing like stuff around the house while telling women to be better women, right? It's just like, why don't you be a lady while she makes a pie or something? I don't get it. It's not for me. I'm not who watches it, but basically there was this young white woman that was over here cooking something that didn't look done. And maybe it was done. Maybe she's bad at it. I don't know. But it did not look done. But then she's talking about her friends, and then she says, because then some of my friends out here are just like, out here dating these guys, and broke ass, right? And she says it. She says it without, she says it like you're not going to hear it, right? So then, of course, everyone who saw this, it started this frenzy online, right? And so there were all these people, she did it on TikTok, you're doing trolling about stuff like that, right? And then she makes another video, and she's like, community or something, like, and I really listened to the feedback. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really give a care. Like, I don't know. So then they found her job, right? Which is crazy because you were trying life while you work. You're a trap. You're supposed to be a traditional. Why are you working? You can't try life all the time. There's no such thing as halfway quits. You gotta be all out, right? And so then they found a job, then they got fired from her job, right? So then she starts trying to post it up to like Newsmax and like One Nation News and people out of all right on Twitter and everything. She takes this bit of like I was canceled, right? She also just doesn't quite have the juice. You know what I mean by that? She doesn't quite have the like the presence and the energy of like the real like TV news. You know what I mean? She just doesn't have it.
Hi, I'm Lily. She has the most beautiful blue eyes I've ever seen. I say, I'm Jean. She says, welcome. This is your first time. I go, yeah. She goes, and she takes me in. She takes in my goggles, my hat. She looks just, you want to swim? You want to lap swim? I go, yeah. She can swim. You can swim. Yeah, right. I look out at all these women in the pool, like really? She says, yes. You go. Just go. We're gonna let you swim. Go, bubble up, go. So I went and I swam, and all these women, they got out of my way with their dresses billowing like parachutes in the water. And then I did another lap, and each time these women got out of my way. And so finally I did like 15 laps, and I stopped, and Lily kind of made her way towards me, and she said, how was your swim? And I said, it was wonderful. And she said, you must come back. And I said, I wasn't going to come. It was so cold. She says, if you hold out her arms. And I go, no. She says, come. So I'm laying on her arms, and at first I'm like really, really stiff, and then I just kind of relax, and she goes, see how warm the water is? And I look, and for the first time I see this skylight like cover the entire length of the pool, and she says, see, the light always comes in. And later in the locker room, I catch the eye of a woman across from me, and we both start laughing, and I'm thinking, I wonder if she was one of the women that, kept swimming out of my way. And I really wanted to talk to her. I know she really wanted to talk to me, but, I don't speak Yiddish, she doesn't speak English, but, she pointed to herself, and she said, Tova. And I pointed to myself, and I
with the community, and ultimately with the neighborhood. She made friends and started shopping on May Avenue, and she even found a favorite restaurant for a nosh after a spill. She sees a dancing sheep in Ireland, and a man visits Lower Manhattan on September 12th, 2001, in search of his brother.
Media in Woods Hole, Massachusetts, and presented by the Public Radio Exchange, prx.org.
Hey, it's Luke Burbank. This week on Livewire, we hear some stand-up comedy from a pretty randy robot.
Hey Siri, how are you doing, girl? Let's do some deep learning together, if you know what I mean. I want to backpropagate all over your hidden layers.
This week on Livewire from PRX.
Join us Saturdays at noon here on 91.5 KUNC.
I don't think I've ever heard that show before.
KUNC is supported by your sustaining membership and by Jack's Outdoor Gear, with clothing, footwear, and gear ready for school, including water bottles from Stanley, Hydro Flask, and Yeti, in Fort Collins, Loveland, Lafayette, Broomfield, and Cheyenne. Jack's, employee and family owned. And by the Colorado State Forest Service. Living alongside nature is a way of life that includes being ready for wildfire. Learn how to protect homes, property, and communities at livewildfireready.org. You're listening to the Moth Radio Hour from PRX. I'm Jennifer Hickson. This hour, stories involving second looks. This next story comes to us from Dublin, where we held a Moth Grand Slam story competition in 2015. Michael Devlin took the prize for this tale. He talks pretty fast, but please keep up with him. Here's Michael.
So there I was, driving down the N11 with my female companion. And I don't know if you know the N11, but it's the main road between Dublin and Wexford. And there are two landmarks on that motorway, both of which are pubs. One is called the Beehive and the other is called Jack White's. And we're fast approaching the Beehive, and all of a sudden my female companion bursts into laughter. Spontaneous, uncontrollable laughter. And I know I'm not the funniest man in the world, but I do have my moments. But that certainly wasn't one of them, because I wasn't even talking. So eventually when she composed herself, I said, come on, share the joke. And she pointed to a field we just passed, and she said, see that field? In that field we just passed, there was a sheep dancing. And I said, a dancing sheep? Really? I said, was it ballroom or contemporary? Because contemporary would be a bit unusual. And she said, no, really, there was a sheep dancing. He was lying on his back with his feet in the air, and he was waving them back and forth as if he was some mad rave or disco or something. And I said, yeah. I said, you know what that means? Because I heard it somewhere before. I said, that means he is in grave danger. Or more precisely, she is in grave danger, because what happens is, at lambing season, the female sheep, the ewes, they get big and heavy, and sometimes when they lay down, they can inadvertently flip over. And they're in grave danger because they can't eat, but they get very distressed, and they're prone to predators, particularly foxes. And as I'm explaining this, there's a voice in my head saying, do not get involved, keep on driving, this is your problem. But then I know that's not possible, because there's another side of my personality which is intent on saving the world and everybody in it. And it's telling me to turn that car and turn it around now. So I go as far as the Beehive and I turn around, and then I drive 10 kilometres in the wrong direction trying to cross the motorway. So I cross the motorway, I'm on the way back here. And then the first problem presents itself, which is to say that I'm looking for a sheep in the field of sheep in County Wicklow. There's sheep everywhere. And I don't mean to cause offence when I say this, but to me, one sheep looks pretty much the same as the next. So I'm driving along, crawling for about 10 minutes, and I stop the car, and we get to the field, and that's true enough, there's the sheep in the field, but this time his feet are totally rigid like this. And I think, oh my God, please don't tell me I'm too late. So I stop the car, jam on the brakes, get out, hit the hazards, and look at, and I'm surveying the situation, and I'm not liking this one bit, because I'm a city boy, and what we have in our hands is most definitely a rural situation. So I turned to my female companion, and I motioned to her to stay at the car. I said, this could be dangerous, but baby, I'm going in. So I hop over the crash barrier, over the barbed wire fence, down an embankment over 2 electric fences, and as I'm doing this, the sheep in the field start to walk away in the distance, except for the upturned sheep and his little sheep buddies. And I'm so amazed and impressed by this, because sheep are timid and placid little creatures, and here they are. They've overcome their fear to stand by the fallen comrade. I think this is amazing. These must be like the sheep equivalent of the Marines, you know. No man gets left behind. But as I'm thinking that, they buggered off too, so that was that theory out the window. So I'm moving closer, and it's just me and the upturned sheep lying there with his feet in the air. And I gotta tell you, you really don't know what thoughts are going to go through your mind until you're faced with this sheep spread eagle before you. And the first thought in my mind was, please God, don't let anybody see this, because it just looks so wrong. And the second thought is this thing going to attack me? Because I know you never hear of anybody being attacked and killed by a sheep. It's not up there with like grizzly bear attacks and shark attacks. I get that. But this thing is cornered, and I've never cornered a sheep before, so I don't know. I always got wrong. And they do have teeth, you know, not the big sharp canine teeth, but teeth nonetheless. And the sheep is scared, and I'm scared, and it's debatable as to which was more frightened. So I'm thinking, in the interest of, you know, my safety and the sheep's dignity, I should stay away from either end. And I go around and I take a deep breath and I bend down and I grab 2 handfuls of wool, and then I lift with all my weight, and the sheep, which turns out to be about 98% wool, flips over and he lands on his feet. And I'm standing there and I feel this power, this strength. It's even like some Superman, some superhuman. And I'm thinking, maybe I should wear my underpants on the outside of my trousers from that day forward, you know, or maybe get a cloak with an S in the back to indicate my newfound superhero status. But the S would have to be made out of wool, because after all, I'd only save the sheep. And as I'm thinking this, the sheep is walking in the distance, and then it stops and turns to face me. And as we look into each other's eyes, I feel it. I feel the connection, because we both know that I've just saved this life. And then we turn away and we walk away back to our previous existence. She to take her place in her flock, and me to take my place in the human race. And I don't look back. I can't look back, because I know she's walking out of my life. And I know things will never be the same again, because this may be just one small sheep for mankind, but it was one giant sheep for me.
That was Michael Devlin, patron saint of sheep.
What's that? I misunderstood that.
Who loves swimming in the sea and studying Gaelic. When I first talked
The
to
sheep that was laying on his back,
he must be
feet in the
reading or
air.
something, but he isn't.
And he went back to save it
In
because it was
shipping.
gonna, as
So
long as
he's
we're
one
gonna
of those
fill with
hilarious co-workers you come across in
fluid.
life who make the day fly by. Every office should have one.
It's our numbnuts trailer.
That's what I thought.
If there is a hilarious person in your life, please convince them to pitch us at the Moth. We all need to laugh, and it's your duty to help
What's that guy's
facilitate.
name?
Do not hog your funny person all to yourself. Your
Ryan?
witty coworker, aunt, neighbor, mail carrier, dog walker needs your encouragement. Have them leave a pitch right on our website, themoth.org, or they can give us a call at 877-799-MOTH-MOTH.
His mom wanted
That's
to go out.
877-799-6684. We listen to them all, and we look forward to laughing.
It's gonna be closed by the time out.
They're closed.
And now, a caution that our next story is quite serious. Jim Giaccone gives tours at the 9/11 Memorial Museum. Moth director Larry Rosen took one of his tours and chatted with him afterwards. Jim shared a personal story, and Larry said that story needs to be told at the Moth. Eventually, it happened at a New York City Grand Slam. Here's Jim Giaccone.
Some of the experts on TV were saying that the way that the Twin Towers were constructed and the manner in which they collapsed, there was bound to be voids. And inside those voids was a potential to find survivors. My family and I hung on those words. My older brother Joe, Joseph Michael Giaccone, had an office on the 103rd floor of the North Tower. And he had gone to work early that Tuesday morning. And he was missing.
Thank you.
And we were going out of our minds. I immediately tried to gain access, but was turned away again and again because ultimately too many people were volunteering. It would become too chaotic. After a couple of days, a buddy of mine called. He was a firefighter up in Harlem.
Stop.
And he told me to meet him at his firehouse.
thought you were going to hit that.
And I dressed in his bunker gear, and me, him, and another
I'm like, I
firefighter
didn't think it was that close.
drove on our way down to Ground
It is for
Zero.
me. Hey, she's got one of those $8
When we got
hairs.
down below Canal Street, we started encountering checkpoints. Either military or police personnel with automatic weapons, but once they saw we were all dressed as firefighters, they waved us right through.
Oh. Randy.
Sorry, I should go open that lock.
There was no...